The ground's saturated and the rivers are high, and, we're just moving on with it as best we can. But, we're getting ready for the event, and there's no turning back, no looking back, and no worrying about it, right? We're excited about it. My thoughts and prayers are with all of our East Coast friends. I'm in Northern Virginia, just so you know, in northern, about 40 miles outside of Washington, D.C., west of Washington, D.C. So, we're pretty safe territory here. We expect to see some, flooded out rivers and maybe, unfortunately, some washed out bridges, they're telling us, but we're going to be just fine. So thank you for that. My prayers and my thoughts are with everybody being hit with this massive storm. I'm busier than anyone could imagine doing my part to get things ready for the leadership event in just a couple of weeks. I'm doing outside work in between the rain, and I'm doing inside work throughout the other times. And rest assured, as I undertake this mission for the masses, my business takes a hit. And if I'm not careful, I'll get worried about things outside of the beginning and the end of this event, and the biggest part of the work that I do in my life, the work for him and the work for you. We already have people anticipating that they won't make it to Virginia after all because of the hurricane. They're already anticipating what's coming way down the road, right? It's not even hit yet, or it's just now hitting the coast of North Carolina. But, they've already they're already thinking about, I won't be able to make it. I'm getting a daily dose of negative as people reach out to say, what are you going to do if the numbers drop because of the hurricane? Well, don't even speak those words. I could easily get consumed, and I could easily get off track if I focus on things that are completely outside of my control. And if I worry about things tomorrow when tomorrow isn't even here yet, right? So this message for you today has been inspired by life and all those things that we can easily get consumed by, and it's entitled, Tomorrow Has Enough Trouble of Its Own. It's no secret that those things that we fear and fret over usually don't happen at all, do they? We get all wrapped around the axle nonetheless if we allow ourselves to, over things we can't control, things we can't change, things that will never be things at all. I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and she was so distraught because she had planned to take off from her work in sales for the last 3 months of this year, and things have shifted. She can't do that. She shared with me how busy it is, how busy she gets getting ready for the holidays, and how she wanted the time to focus on those things instead of working her way through it. And she was in a quandary over it, right? It's not quite the middle of September, and she's already in a bad way, worried about tomorrow, worried about way down the road, and how she could possibly get the holidays accomplished, in so little time. I didn't laugh in her presence, but I had to laugh as I considered the mad rush I go into every single year. We have a great celebration here at the farm with my family, but it sure isn't worthy of a 3-month focus to create what my family enjoys. But, it matters to my friend, and I don't mean to make light of it. In reality, it doesn't matter if we have 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 hours, or 3 minutes to prepare for anything in life at all. We have to take it one step at a time, and we can't get consumed over things that may never happen at all. The Bible says, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. And isn't that the truth? Staying focused and being driven, commitment and diligence should never be put aside in life, not when it comes to your relationships or your children, to your faith or your business. But worrying way out on the horizon is fruitless because today is all we're given, and it's the only thing that we have control over. Yesterday's gone, and tomorrow isn't promised to anybody. Did you know that according to Psychology Today, that money, work, and the economy together dominate the top list of the things most worried about in America today? Ahead of relationships, ahead of family, ahead of faith, ahead of health, and even ahead of stability. Can you imagine that? Financial worry, in other words, beats out everything else that people have to worry about. How odd it is to me to think about that the one thing that most people worry about the most is the one thing that we can do something about. We may not be able to reroute this hurricane. God knows I'd do it for all my friends and family and people I've never met yet. If I could wish that thing away or worry that thing away, I'd do it. We may not be able to force someone to love us. We can't control the heart of another, can we? And we may not be able to blink our eyes and find our youth again, although some people would like to. We can't worry our way into defying death. There are things that worry's not going to do anything, right? But the one thing that we worry about the most is the one thing that we have control over today. Worrying about tomorrow and doing nothing to change the course today is the best definition of insanity. There's no doubt about it. And I'm sure you all know that Einstein says that definition is doing the same thing over and over while expecting a different result. You know, the number one reason people give me for not attending this leadership event coming up is that they say, you know, they've expressed, I want to be there. I need to be there. I'd love to be there. And the one thing that they say is, you know, that they don't have the money, even though they had a whole year to plan for the event. It's the same weekend every year, right? They say they don't have the money. They don't believe that they can afford to attend. But it isn't necessarily that they don't have the money or that they couldn't have earned the money. It's that they're worried about money instead of that, and life reflects what we focus on. So if you think, well, I'm not going to have the money, how am I ever going to have the money? If I only could get the money, it's never going to happen. You know, we've had people take buses, trains, and a combination of both just to make it here to the farm. For thousands of miles, by the way. We've had people hop rides with strangers and share rooms with strangers just to make it work. We've had people sleep in cars, which unfortunately I heard about after the fact, just to be able to make it here because they could make their way here and couldn't afford to stay in a room. Can you imagine that? Money, or the worry of money, did not stop those people. But the worry over money will stop most people, even though that's the only thing that they actually have control over today. Romy recently said, you don't have to learn anything more to make it to 6A. You just have to do more of what you're already doing. You know, the answer to the worries over money and the solution for not having enough is just to do more. You know, I'm sure that I've shared with you more than once in the past as a single mom. You know, here I am. I've raised 4 kids by myself. I'm not complaining. I never got a child support check. You know, no, this farm was not part of a divorce settlement. I worked hard, right? I had 4 kids to feed, and I had 2 parents to feed, and I was an entrepreneur in control of my money and my time. When I had 2 kids in private college for several years running, believe me, ouch, right? I didn't worry about how it would be covered. I didn't wring my hands and say, wow, I hope I can afford to put my kids in college. Wow, you know, what's going to happen if I can't put my kids? I didn't think about those things. I just set a goal as an entrepreneur in real estate at the time, by the way, to do an extra transaction every quarter to cover it. I just had to do a little bit more of what I was already doing for that added expense. Surely if I could figure out how to put 2 college kids, pay 2 college tuitions to private college, anybody can figure out a way to make it to make something like an event happen. If you have breath in your body, you already have the most amazing opportunity to do more every single day. You are in control of your destiny that way today. But worrying about tomorrow is keeping you from doing what you need to do today. When it comes to, you know, events, any event, I've said so many times that all it takes is to make a commitment to make it happen. And I know people are rolling their eyes right now, but let me tell you, I don't say that from a standpoint of being casual about money. I know what it is to struggle. I know what it is to be the definition of broke. I know what money is, right? I say that because it's when we commit that we take action. It's when we commit to our success that we do something to achieve it. It's when we commit to our dreams, we do something to make them happen. When we commit to an event, we find that money. We make a goal to make an extra sale, or we put the brakes on, about spending, and we stop worrying about tomorrow and just do what we need to do today in order to get where we want to go. You know, we worry about those things that we care about most, and unfortunately, for most people, that's money. Specifically, the fear of losing it, or not having enough of it, or not being in control of it in the future. Millennials are worrying a lot these days as they struggle with money, and they're trying to launch careers and pay off college debt, right? They're worried, and I don't blame them. They should be worried, right? They need it. They need us. Boomers are worried a lot these days over, the long term. What's going to happen to me in my old age? How will I ever be able to retire? Which I don't think we're called to, by the way, but they're worried about their financial stability in the future. It's the same worry about the same things way down the line that's causing stress levels for both of those groups, the unknowns, and if they'll have enough money. If you work a 9-to-5 income, your income is somewhat limited, isn't it? Until fortunate enough to get a promotion or raise, of course, right? Your income is fixed for you. You trade your time, you get the money. In the old days, people used to work a full-time job, and they worked a part-time job too if it needed. If they didn't have enough money or to make money for Christmas or whatever that was, they were willing to do more than just one thing. That seems, unfortunately, to be a thing in the past today for whatever reason. People work one job, they don't make enough money, and they whine about it. If you don't have enough money, you either need to spend less or earn more, or both. There's no way around it, right? But entrepreneurs, we're the fortunate ones. Although we struggle with cash flow from time to time, every entrepreneur does. You know, whether you're kicking it in real estate or doing what we do, you're going to have ups and downs, peaks and valleys, right? We struggle with that. But we have the power to alter our finances by just doing more of what we're already doing, just like Romy said. Entrepreneurs also thrive, you know, when they we don't like those deep holes, right? But entrepreneurs typically don't run and hide in a hole. They usually get more creative as the challenges come along, and they're almost automatically go into planning mode to do what they need to do today to solve their own financial crisis. When entrepreneurs crumble under worry about tomorrow, they ultimately will quit. And you know, I'm hearing tales, I'm sure you are too, people flocking out of the company. I'm going to scream if anybody calls me or messages me again about another product. Okay, I'm focused. I don't want to hear about it. But people are blaming, you know, blame the company or blaming you can't sell these units or blaming somebody other than themselves. They're looking at tomorrow and saying, well, I can't continue on like this, instead of doing something today that will secure their future. There couldn't be a better opportunity for an entrepreneur than doing what we do. And there's not going to be a better opportunity down the road with another product. It's just a matter of doing a little bit more than you're already doing today. If you're worried about having enough money, you know what you need to do? You need to stare it down. Facing the fear does help. The monster in the closet always shrinks when we turn the light on. So do more of what you already know to do and be spending wisely. I'm pretty sure that there are people, you know, all over the place who have expressed a sincere desire to want to be here for this event, that, you know, in that 1 year time, if they just cut their Starbucks spending habit, they probably would have found the funds to be here. If entrepreneurs would commit to making one more sale or two just to fund the events that they need to be attending, like I used to fund college, they'd be at every event that they needed to be at, right? Tomorrow absolutely has enough trouble of its own. If you want tomorrow to be the best that it can possibly be for you and your family, you need to worry a little bit less about it and do more today to assure that your tomorrow is what you desire for it to be. You know, with this hurricane is an imminent threat to thousands upon thousands of people. It's supposed to find its way here, at least the heavy rains, you know, to hover over the farm here by Tuesday. But you won't find me fretting and worried about Tuesday today. It's not that I won't prepare, that I would be stupid, and I won't look out to do the things that I should do to be a wise property owner, right? That's what everybody should do, is look out, you know, for their own and to take, you know, take the necessary steps. But you won't find me fretting and worrying. I'm not burning up the phone and text messages talking to people about what are we going to do and what if this happens and what if that happens. I'm not promised tomorrow. Tomorrow has enough trouble of its own, and it's not even guaranteed to me. So I need to worry about today, to be the best that I can be today, to focus on my priorities today. So I'm going to focus on those things that I have control over, and I'm doing that today. And I'm going to do what I need to do to assure that finances are secure to reach my own goals. But how about you? Are you wasting time worrying about tomorrow when it's not even promised to you? Are you making excuses? Well, I can't do this and I can't do that because if I spend the money on this, then I might not have credit. Are you doing those things? Do you worry about things that you have absolutely no control over? And worse yet, do you only worry about things you can control while you refuse to do a little bit more that you already doing, just like Romy said? You know, again, we have the most amazing company. There's nothing broken here. And if you're not making it, you got to just do more. I don't know what happened to that work ethic or, you know, that mentality that was there when I was young, you know, with people working a full-time job. And if that didn't cut it, you worked an extra job too. What happened to that mentality? You just have to do more of what you're already doing. So I pray that you go take on this new day and stay in the moment. You have today. It's the only guarantee you've got. Get a handle on your future by doing more today. You know, just a little bit more will make a huge difference. I absolutely pray for all of our friends that are at risk with this hurricane, and I'm trusting that the hand of God will protect them and this old farm too. I hope I see you guys in October for the event. And if you manage to prioritize or find your way here, I can assure you, your life will never be the same again. And you'll be looking at today in an entirely different light with a whole lot less worry, right? So you guys go take on this day. This is your day. You can make the difference. You can do a little bit more of what you were already doing. Yesterday's gone. If you're kicking yourself for what you didn't get done this year, or the money you didn't make last month, it's over. It's finished, right? Learn from, the mishaps or the struggles and move on to today and stay in the moment, because today and your finances, you have control over. Just get out and do a little bit more of what you're already doing. So God bless you all. I'll see you at the top, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.